Latent injuries are the kinds of injuries that you don't notice right away. If you fall off a ladder and break your arm, it's pretty obvious how your arm got broken. But if you have an injury that occurs over time, if you're doing something repetitively where you're pushing or pulling, maybe doing data entry, they're the kind of injuries that occur over time. And even though you don't notice them right away, they continue to progressively get worse and worse. And there are a lot of types of latent injuries that we see every day.
Yeah, I would say the most common types of latent injuries are repetitive motion injuries. And just as you pointed out, data entry operation is a common catalyst or source for carpal tunnel syndrome. Assembly line workers, it's not uncommon for us to see latent injuries with assembly line workers. The fact that they are repeating the same or similar task over a very extended period of time, it's not uncommon to see that lead to one of these repetitive motion injuries.
Sure. The biggest problem that we see with these latent or repetitive motion injuries is notice. As we referenced earlier, when you have a work injury, you got to tell your supervisor. And I think the reason why it's a problem is people don't often know exactly what causes their pain. And ultimately, it is the doctor's job to decide whether what you're doing at work is what's causing your pain or whether it's what's causing an injury. It is your job to make sure that if you have some pain at work that's associated with these things you're doing at work, you've got to tell your supervisor.
The thing to bear in mind is workers' compensation benefits are your benefits. You're the beneficiary under that insurance program or insurance policy. So just as you said, Rajan, if you think you've been hurt or developed an injury over time in connection with the tasks or duties you perform at work, it's the best thing to do is to notify your doctor and get an examination and let the doctor determine whether or not these tasks or activities are causing the injury, and certainly could aggravate that injury further if you continue to do them without seeking that medical attention.